Here. Mr. Webb?
Here.
Mayor Hanson?
I am here.
Thank you.
All right, so our first item of business is audience participation. We have one person here to speak tonight, and that is Mr. Samson Ledesma. So, Samson, I'll go ahead and let you please come to the podium, say your name and your address, please.
My name is Samson Ledesma. My address is 17 Crestview Road here in Wellington.
Great. So what are you here this evening to visit with us about?
Well, I guess the thing that brought to my attention was last week I received an email from the Chamber of Commerce on behalf of the City of Wellington saying that there was a video production company that was going to be coming to town, creating videos and posting those on the city website. Now, this stood out to me, obviously, because I have a business that creates both websites and videos and puts videos on websites, that sort of thing. And so I'm thinking, why, why is the chamber sending this video or this email on behalf of a company from New York? That's where the company is that's doing that. They're never going to set foot in Kansas, this company. And the city is sending them out saying, okay, all businesses in Wellington that we can reach, use these people to create a video for you, and they're going to post this on our website for free. Now, I know that video and websites and technology stuff is kind of a, you guys still hear me if I stand up? It's kind of an abstract idea, right? Kind of out there, kind of hard to understand. If you don't know anything about video and digital media, it's literally an intangible product, but it's a service and it's a product. So I thought it might be helpful if I just give kind of a picture of what this looks like. So the first thing I thought of was, Mr. Valentine, you cut hair, right?
Yes, sir.
You're a barber. Okay. So we have Mr. Valentine. He's a barber, right? He does haircuts in Wellington. Okay? That's service he offers, a product. All right? He does these haircuts. Everybody looks at the haircuts he does, and they say, man, those are awesome haircuts. They make Wellington look better. No, sorry. Well, he didn't cut my hair, but people would look at that and they'd say, these haircuts that Mr. Valentine are doing, they're amazing, they look good. Haircuts as a whole are something that make a town look good. People look good, the town looks good, right? Okay, Mr. Valentine opens his email, right? Opens his email and he sees a thing from the city saying, every business should use this company. They're doing haircuts, right? They're doing haircuts. You pay for these haircuts. If you do these haircuts for us, we'll get haircuts for free, right? The city will get haircuts for free. All of our employees haircuts for free. You will make Wellington look good, right? Because haircuts make people look good, okay? And he's thinking, why not? I do haircuts. Why is the city promoting this thing that I do and saying use this company from New York to get all these haircuts done? And the reason that they want you to use them, you pay them, they give us haircuts for free, right? That's kind of the picture. And then at the very bottom, there's a little line that says, oh, and if you already had a haircut by Jim, then you may be able to, still show your haircut on our website. You may be able to. The reason it says you may be able to is because you still have to pay to show your haircut on the website if you already have one. Because the reason they're getting it for free is because they're sponsored by businesses, right? Businesses are coming, this business from New York, CGI, coming to Wellington and saying to the city or to whoever, I'm not going to say chamber because I've already made it clear, you don't want anything to do with this. And they say to the city, we're going to give you, let's go back to video production here now, I think we kind of get the picture. Videos, we're going to do these videos for you for free, right? But what you need to do for us is send this letter out to every business in your town, everybody everybody you can, so that they give us business, and we'll post them on your website for free. Now, how much are you getting compared to how much you're giving to that business? The example you gave was the city of Iola. You go to their website, there's a link that says, what does it say? There's just a link there that says something, quality of life, that's where it goes. Go to cityofiowa.com, quality of life. and pop up on this website, not even integrated into the website, pops up, a pop-up box. So you totally left the website now. There's ads all around this spot. There's 20 ad spaces. I don't know about ION, but that's what they're selling here. 20 ad spaces. You pay $3,299 and you can get your ad on this, around this video. We'll come to Wellington, make you a 30-second ad, or a 30-second commercial. You get this, basically a link on this pop-up box that actually points to, CGI's website, right? So they're actually getting the traffic to it and everything. So you get a link on that and you get it for a year. And, after a year you can pay again to be on again. But on the city's website, you now have these videos for free, right? Basically, not really free if you think about it. But only 20 businesses can have their videos on your site now. And if they want to be on that site, they have to pay a lot. All right, so it's not just open to any business, just those 20 that can pay, if there's that many that pay, right? And if your business doesn't get on it now, they'll lose their opportunity to get on there, and this is they make it seem like a big deal. Now my question, I have a lot of questions, but that's kind of the idea, okay? So let's go back to the barbershop thing. Jim Valentine gives these awesome haircuts. Everybody from outside Wellington sees them, these awesome haircuts, and they're like, we want you to do some haircuts for us, right? So then along comes this company and the city hires them to do haircuts, and they're like, well, why aren't you having Jim do those haircuts? He already does great haircuts. Well, we're getting this thing for free, okay? So Jim has lived in Wellington, raised his family in Wellington, pays taxes in Wellington, utilities, shops in Wellington, gives a lot to Wellington, all right? This money that they're doing, if 20 businesses go to this company and actually sign up, that's about $66,000 that's going to New York, not here. It's not going to be in Wellington, it's going to be spent there. If you use a local business, all that money is going to stay right here. That's going to promote the business, going to give you the pride of having a local business having done those videos, which promotes Wellington, not just Wellington, but the businesses in Wellington that did that. And since we already have video production, businesses that do that, why go outside? That was my question. Now, what I gathered was, though, that you guys really didn't know anything about that. Am I right?
Can I interject something here, Senator, for just a minute?
Yeah.
I appreciate you using it as an example, but I never got this email.
Well,
And I can see where you're heading with this, and I couldn't agree with you more. That's exactly the way I feel.
Thank you.
Shop local, that's shop local, right there. That's it, right there.
Exactly. So the
And I never
chambers,
received the email, so.
well, if you're not a chamber member, you probably didn't receive it. They sent out to all chamber members and whoever's on the email list. Now, as far as I know. And so if you're a chamber, they send it to us, chamber members.
Right.
Or okay, so this is another thing that kind of blew my mind was, so a chamber member, the city,
Right.
Chamber member, asks the chamber
Yes.
to send a letter promoting a business from out of state that's not a chamber member, right, promoting their services. And why would that even happen in the first place?
Well, so I know that Mr. Shields did talk to us about this, but I'm going to, because I was not a part of the process, Mr. Shields, I'm going to yield to you to explain the process, and I know Anna Rose looks like she has.
I'm sure, but can I just real quick?
Well, your question is, so why go outside? We're going to, let's hear
well,
our side of this.
I want to know first, real quick. So it sounded to me, just from talking to people, that you, the council, really didn't know anything about this. So
No, I knew about it.
Well, I know.
We knew about
The
it.
details, you knew all the details, what was going to happen, how they're doing the business, and what you're getting. And all
I understood the basic idea, and quite frankly, I was kind of mad at myself for not thinking of it in the first place.
Well, yeah,
It's a great entrepreneurial, brilliant idea.
It's a brilliant idea.
And I've looked at the company, Sampson, and I've looked at, what they do, and this is a great entrepreneurial company that does this for a living.
It
And
just happens to be the same exact services that people here in Wellington already offer.
I don't argue
the
that.
reason I talked to this company too, I called Stacy myself because I wanted to go to the stores, get what it is. And she herself told me, I asked her the question, I said, there's 2 video production companies in town already, you know. Why would these businesses hire your business? She said, the only reason these businesses are gonna hire us is because the city will tell them to. That's how they get their in. They trust the city tells them to. How many times, you know, imagine if the city would promote my business like that, you know, or them. And like you said, yeah, I'm kind of kicking myself because I didn't think of it first, you know, because it is it's a great model. You go to the city does all the work for you. How many people did they call? How many businesses did they call? None. All the businesses that are going to do it are calling them because the city said, and the chamber said, call this business to have your video done.
Well, I do think they're calling on businesses, but I think it was, and I want everyone to understand that this was a city project, that the chamber was really being a conduit for the city to their businesses. So I really don't feel like, but we are including them because obviously if you're going to do a video, promotional video about Wellington, you want the city, the chamber, economic development, the schools. We're going to try and get as many people involved. You know, this is certainly something that I think needs to be discussed. But right now, if your question is why did we do this, I think because...
Well, I think I know the answer. It's because it wasn't thought through. Like, that's what I believe. Either that or you were advised otherwise that it'd be fine and all this kind of stuff. But I mean, logically, does it make sense to do this instead of use... Okay, well, here's another question that I'd like an answer to. If my company offered the same exact thing, maybe even something better, would the city send out a letter to all businesses promoting that? Not even instead, but also just saying, here's another option. And even if you guys were to decide, hey, this was a bad idea because it doesn't make any sense, you know, we have 2 video production companies in town, one of them's filming this right now, you know, I mean, you work for one, but, you know, and that's why I'm not mad at the city or anything like that. I just think it was a matter of misunderstanding because I don't think people understood, and like Jim said, I mean, never saw a letter, never got any of that kind of stuff either. Most people just don't know about it. But from my perspective, I see it from their perspective, and here's what they're doing. When I called the lady, the last thing she talked about was a video. She tried to sell a website, graphic design, you know, social media, all that kind of stuff. How much extra is that, you know? And they're going to get these 20 businesses on hook if they do, which one of the reasons I decided to come, and I really didn't want to because I just don't want to get into stuff anymore. I started working in Wichita, I still run my business here and everything. Right. But one of the reasons is because I've had businesses call me and say, hey, have you heard this CGI thing? Right. We told them, no, we're not going to do it because we already have people who can make videos in town. The only problem with that, you know, they can use that sort of thing, like I said, is that they still have to pay to be on the city website. How much money of that does the city get? Nothing. The city gets nothing except for these videos posted on a browser that takes you to CGI's website, right? And this is something, I asked the lady, okay, this is funny to me. All right, I asked the lady, so why can't the city just do this themselves? She said, oh, they just don't know how to do that. They only know how to post documents and stuff like that. I said, yeah, but they could get on there and just embed the videos. You can host an embedded video from Facebook, from YouTube. And she said, oh, well, they don't know how to do that. I said, well, their website developer did, Canova. They know how to do that, you know, who built your website. But it's just a matter of, I think they're really, you know, like I said, misinformation. But yeah, if you want to.
Mr. Eder had a comment.
I read your email, Samson. I think the best way I can describe it, I think you kind of hit on some of the points with it. I can tell you from sitting in this seat prior to running for this seat, I did what I thought was my due diligence. I asked several people who had sat in this position before, some of them who were currently sitting on it that were leaving, asked them, you know, hey, what kind of time requirements is it going to be? What's it going to take? And I can tell you that the amount of time and efforts that this position takes is a lot. It's extreme. It's a lot. And because of that, we have to take the information that's given to us by our various boards, by our various department heads, And I think that everybody does the best job that they possibly can do. And I think that in this particular situation, due to the amount of work that this position required, it was probably something that none of us were able to fully see exactly what it was. It was probably just an oversight
That's
of
exactly,
different positions.
that's
So-
exactly what I thought, and that's exactly why I wanted to talk to you guys. 'Cause I knew, because that's what it sounded like in the minutes, that it was just like, hey, we're having these, videos done for free by this company. And you guys were like, sounds good, you know, why not free?
Mr. Valentine?
I just have one more question. How many people up here got this email? How many?
I got Samson's letter.
Kip, Kelly,
He's
No, I
talking-
don't think the city
Jan?
had corrected my.
I received the email from the chamber.
Bill,
Oh, sure, yeah, we don't really check.
Nips. You did, well, we are twins in, aren't we?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
I mean, as what I said makes sense.
no, I certainly
Yeah.
appreciate your perspective. I don't agree with all of your interpretations of how this happened. But that, I think that,
What's your interpretation of my interpretation? Because I really don't.
no, so from my perspective and from my experience and my knowledge of this situation, this company, CGI Video, who does these videos all over the country and has successfully done so for many years. The guy that actually started the company is a former television journalist just like myself. And I, like I said, am kicking myself that I didn't think of this idea myself. And he has established a small business in Rochester that's just like any small business across the country. Came up with this great idea to go out and help cities at no cost to them because he knows that their budgets are tight and sell themselves. They take care of virtually everything. It's capitalism. It's
Right.
entrepreneurship. I mean, so.
That's not the part that I.
So here's the deal. So when Mr. Shields told us about this, I thought, you know what? We need to start doing more marketing and we need to start doing more promoting of all the great things that are going on in Wellington. And Samson, you are a tremendously talented and gifted artist, and I take nothing away from you. But it's my understanding, and I think it was double checked, and I know for sure that Shane did double check, and you said this yourself, that any of the videos that you shot, or if any of these businesses want to use you to pay you to do a video,
And then pay the
well,
company
that's
too.
capitalism.
But here's the deal, you can post all my videos on this website for free right now.
But what you don't understand is we don't have a person who can do that right now.
What?
We have an IT person, but he's obviously busy doing other things. This is a company that's gonna come in and take care
And
of
Uncle would
this
charge you
turnkey, signed, sealed, and delivered.
a few bucks probably to post.
Well, and we don't have a few bucks right now,
Really?
not for this project.
I bet somebody would volunteer to do it if you'd send a little business their way, like this company does.
Well,
They'd say, well, I guarantee, Mr. Jim Valentine over there, best barber in Wellington, would say, hey, I'll give you free haircuts if you refer every single business in town to me, and I can not only give them haircuts, but I'll sell them shoe shines and, earwax removal or something like that, you know what I'm saying? Why?
Good, sir. I like it.
Thanks. But anyway,
so,
you understand what I'm saying? You can apply that to catering, to, rental housing, to whatever it is. This company's coming in to take money out of the thing, and you're just giving them an open door and saying, here you go, take all the business you want, right? That's exactly what it is. And and that's what I'm trying to get across here, is that no, it's not just about getting some free things. And like I said, I'm not blaming you guys. I guarantee if I was in your position and that's all that was said, I'd have done the same. I'd make the same exact position. But I'd also hope that somebody would come up here and say what I'm saying now to try to help me understand what this company's actually coming on to do and how much, if I hadn't just started working full-time in Wichita and I still run my own business doing video production, everything for people here, this could potentially have a big impact on my business. Just like coming in and telling everybody they can get, to order haircuts, from this other company would surely take them, a few customers from this and
I think basically what Sam's saying, you'd be better off shopping local. I mean, that's what it's about. It's about people working with people. One hand touches the other. We don't need to be going outside the room, especially now, in my opinion. That's just my
Well,
opinion.
one more thing you just brought up.
Right, and I have two things too.
Okay, well, then I might have another
Okay.
problem. So, my final point was, not just that this business if this business had come in and just contacted businesses directly, that'd be a whole other thing than the city itself and the chamber itself saying, come use these, but at the same time, not promoting the other businesses that might do the same thing, or at least giving them an option. Telling them they can use them, they may be able to use them, is a whole other thing, because they can order one and then still may not be able to use it if they don't pay the $3,299.
So the two things that I'd like to just throw out there. Number one, you're comparing apples to oranges. And I'm not taking away from your talent. Again,
Also,
you are talking about a person who does incredible videos and whatnot, but this is a well-established company that has worked with multiple municipalities across the country. So, and again, I don't want to be offensive, but to compare CGI to your video company is comparing apples to oranges.
we're not comparing the companies, we're comparing what the companies are doing for the
Right,
city.
and CGI approached us, so, and you did not. Secondly, if I were you, and this is just me talking to you, Samson,
Right.
I would maybe send out an email to the businesses saying, hey, I know you've been approached to do this thing with the city. I'd be more than happy to produce your videos. So maybe turn it into a positive rather than just saying.
Well, I am, and I am glad you said that, because, I wanted to wait, I haven't said anything publicly. I have sent a letter to a few people, but I haven't said anything publicly about this because, like I said, I knew that you guys, you couldn't have understood exactly what was going on, and like Kip said, I know you guys are all busy, and so am I, and my wife's really mad at me for even coming to this tonight. And I'm kind of mad that I'm here too, I got stuff to do, but I feel it's important, right? And so, yeah, I think I've kind of made my point, but I just, hope you guys at least see what that is. And like I said, I'd really like to answer that question. If I were to give the same exact deal right now, would the chamber and the city send out a letter saying, here's another option for you? Instead of me having to go do that myself, which CBI didn't, otherwise, because I don't want to compete with the city itself. That's exactly what would be happening, because you're recommending this other thing, and I don't want to be a competitor to the city or the chamber, right?
Right.
And I don't see why you shouldn't recommend me and SUTV and my other company is Big Corner Creative up in Wichita, and they, guarantee,
Yeah.
they can do as good as or better work. The video is not being done by them, but that's a whole other story. But anyway, I would like an answer to that.
This is Holly.
I'm not sure which one to answer to, but Samson and I had a really good conversation a couple days ago, and I literally, all I remembered about the videos was the fact that they were free. And so, as I sit up here, and I explain this to him also, the biggest part of my job is the financial part. So there was no forethought, there was no, what's this gonna do? And I also reiterated to Samson that if you preach the shop locally, that's a community issue. It's not something the city can designate. I'm not saying we should support anybody from out there, but it's for the community and the business owners and the residents to say, hey, we're not going to support that. We want to do it our way. We want to do it the way that's better for our community. So, I guess I want to apologize for us not giving it any more thought based on the information we had and the quickness of all of it. I don't appreciate any company coming to town and selling their programs being backed by the city. I didn't
Right, that's
understand
my
that the
issue.
endorsement was going to be there. I mean, I'm one of those, you want to come make videos, go make videos. I mean, you don't have to get paid for them. But anyway, I mean, so you have my apologies for not thinking any further, but I think if you want to stress the shop locally, you need to do that to the business owners outside too.
Yeah, and exactly like you said, the issue wasn't that, you know, that the people are coming here, but that these people who are always preaching shop local are saying the exact opposite in this case. Yes, it'll be good for the Wellington business, I don't doubt that. CGI is a great company, I don't have any problem with them. Yes, they have a great marketing plan, but it's just the fact of how it was done that just doesn't make any sense at all to me.
Well, we appreciate your opinion. Just on a side note too, they did hire a local photographer to shoot the original video, Kurt Linklater, so
Yeah,
you
Park City.
might see if they could,
I
well,
talked to her and I asked her, and yeah, I talked to him. He
So-
said he didn't even know what he was shooting for, he just shoots the video, sends the video to them.
well, I was just saying, if you might get in on that, that might be another.
Well, yeah, but that won't be worth it to me.
Okay,
They just pay hourly. And like I said, so is there an answer to that question? The question I asked about if I came to you guys right now and said, I'll give you that deal, maybe even a better deal. Is the city in a contract with CGI?
I would be happy if you could do anything to improve the city's website.
Number one, we would have to confirm the agreement with CGI, how it reads, whether that prevents. A couple of things of clarification here or added information.
okay,
The CGI Communications contacted us. The information was provided to the council on May 2nd. The May 2nd meeting, you were given the details of the information. We discussed that. I made you aware of them. The very first question was asked of them. Can businesses use their own videos if they have them? The answer was yes. Now, the sponsorship, I mean, again, the free cost was obviously the appealing thing to us. We recently had the drone meeting where it was encouraged that we need to get our information out there. So that fell right in line with that timeline. So that's what was discussed that night. We proceeded with that. The letter that you're referring to was sent by CGI. We did not send that letter. We provided them the letter, but that was sent by them at their cost. Providing that we could do that, I would see no reason why we would not encourage local businesses. And if that local company wants to send that letter, that's fine. We would have to confirm with the existing agreement with CGI. It was not our intent to solely endorse CGI. That's why we added in the letter that you could possibly use your own videos.
Right.
Now, there's details involved there, that's why we left the word may. Obviously, those video producers may have some type of agreement with when they originally created those that may present that. I don't know, that's between that business. There was no requirement that anyone sponsor this. I mean, and certainly the chamber is not involved in this at all. They sent the letter out more or less informing their businesses, the members, if there's been any scam, worries.
Right, 'cause they get
We
calls.
had received a couple of calls and, from might have been non-chamber members, I don't know, that didn't get the letter. So that's some of the details, background details of the deal with CGI.
right. Well, as a matter of fact, I got an email from one of the companies that is very diligent about checking with the chamber about whether whoever the salesperson coming down the pike is legit or not. And this person sent an email to myself and I believe Anna Rose and Shane and said, hey, I just got a call from said company, is this legit? And we appreciate that, and I think that's right. But I would echo what Shane says, let's look at this as an entrepreneurial opportunity. And, there's no exclusivity here. I don't know why we.
20 businesses get posted on the site.
I'm just saying there's no exclusivity to this one project. So we do this project and then, it takes off and it does such a great job of promoting Wellington, and then we do another thing. We've got the Sumner County guide that comes out that the Wellington Daily News does. I mean, all of these promotional items are only good things for Wellington and the county. And I think we need to look at them as opportunities as opposed to why we shouldn't do these things. That's certainly my take on it, and if anybody else wants to add anything else, but it is 7 and we do have some other business. I understand. I want you to know you've been heard clearly. There are council members that wish we would have given this a little bit more thought and time.
So what's the conclusion here?
So I think the conclusion is lesson learned to all of us. that, sometimes we need to maybe pay a little bit more attention. I 100% knew what was going on, and again, I see this as an opportunity for Wellington to take advantage of a well-established company that approached us to do something good for the city of Wellington and Sumner County. So,
Okay,
Thank you, Samson.
thank you.
Appreciate it.
thank you. Keep cutting those hair, Mr. Valentine.
All right. Next we have is our consent agenda.
And then I would like to pull out the street closing. Lisa said no one because it's pending legislation. And move that we approve the consent agenda without that street closing.
Okay. Is that the correspondence from Chambers to the director? All right. No, that's, which one is that? Oh, it's the street closings, item 9. Okay.
So, and the rest of those need to go right. It's just this one that needs to be.
Do I have a second? All right. I have a motion to approve the consent agenda, which includes approval of minutes, appropriations, and council correspondence, with the exception of item 9 under council correspondence regarding the street closing request for the Wheat Festival. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. All right. Do you want some clarification on that tonight?
I think we have to go, we have to consider this resolution down before we can say yes or no. That's the chief. He says no, pending legislation.
I'm sorry, Chief Heath, that was the beer location, correct? The beer garden location?
Aaron,
There is existing legislation that may, I think is waiting, as we understand, still waiting for the governor's signature, correct?
Correct.
As far as impacting the approval of that, it's because of the location was different than in previous years, correct?
Enlighten us, chief, please.
Well, it's, where do I begin? I mean, as the manager stated, there's current legislation, I think Mr. John is currently looking at it. I don't think it's been signed yet, but there's current legislation pending that will allow cities or municipalities to create what would be referred to as common consumption areas.
Okay.
If you recall, in years past, the associated with the Kansas Wheat Fest, the beer garden, for no better terms, has always been in the Antler's Lot over the past several years. And if you recall, there's always been a fence placed up, and that has been designated as an area where sale as well as consumption of CMB could occur. However, with this pending legislation, there's a chance that we could, for no better terms, do away with that. And you could allow, or the city could designate, and the language being a common consumption area. Hypothetically, let's say, since most of the Wheat Fest, and I don't want to just specifically single out Wheat Fest, but most of the Wheat Fest activities occur around the auditorium. So, with this pending legislation, we could create, for no better terms, a common consumption area, which would allow the consumption of CMB, or actually in this particular case, liquor, alcoholic liquor, in the area associated with the auditorium. However, it hasn't been signed. There's some caveat to this common consumption area. For example, if you have a current establishment that is currently licensed, they would not be exempt. So they can allow patrons, if they happen to be in whatever area is designated as a common consumption area, they can allow patrons to exit their facilities and go out onto the public streets and consume alcoholic liquor, alcoholic liquor. However, one of the caveats to that is that that particular business and that particular container that that patron may be carrying has to have the logo of that business. For example, not to single out the door or Barefoot Jerry's. They are right there within proximity of the auditorium. So if we pass this, or if this legislation is passed and the city chooses by either ordinance or resolution to establish a common consumption area, those two particular businesses could allow patrons to go out and consume on a public street. The Wheat Fest committee would allow, if they want to establish or they want to approach the council and request a common consumption area, again, pending legislation, that would allow public consumption on city public streets. That's in essence what it is.
So it would be a permanent common consumption area, like we would say, bounded by certain blocks or certain streets.
Mr. DeJohn.
The way the common consumption area pending legislation reads is any person can petition the state to designate a certain area, and it is limited in time. It's not permanent. I think it's up to a maximum of 1 year. But the council has to approve it, and then it goes to, I'll call beverage control, and then they approve it. And of course, they get their fee, the application fee, but the maximum term of a common consumption area is 1 year. So for instance, the Wheat Festival, whatever nights they designated that common consumption area, you agreed to it, then alcohol beverage control would have a say-so in that, and they would grant that permit for a common consumption area. That's the way I'm reading the proposed legislation. Of course, once, if it passes and is signed, how ABC.
So why does that eliminate this permission to have a beer garden? I don't understand why.
I think because the chamber is going to do a consumption area.
Currently by ordinance, and again, our city attorney can correct me if I'm wrong, but currently by ordinance, the city, the governing body, has established the Antlers Lock program. That's the only place that you can currently consume seeds. So my reasoning for not approving that is based on this legislation, because there's an opportunity come July 1 that if our current Senate passes this common consumption legislation, I can't speak on behalf of the chamber director, but she may come to me or may come to you folks and say, hey, I don't want to put up a fence at the Anchorage block. I want to designate the 200 block of the auditorium. If you recall last year at Inner Street Dance, they put up a big, huge fence.
Right.
And my understanding, and again, she can correct me if I'm wrong, they want to do away with that fencing. So if that's the case and they want to establish and allow citizens to consume, this common consumption legislation would allow that. But then again, it would be by ordinance or resolution. So there are some caveats to it. You have to have barriers. There's no definition as to what those barriers are. Does that mean that's nothing more than the police department reaching out to Mr. Jones and saying, hey, can you develop me some signs that says no alcohol beverage beyond this point? We're still a little unsure when we talk about this legislation, and we've been in touch with some chiefs around the state, and I think they're just like me, they're unsure as to what. We understand what they're trying to do, but.
So it sounds like a lot of things are gonna have to fall into place and happen, but because of the timing of this meeting and the Kansas Wheat Festival, we at least need this on the radar so that we can, when and if they pass the legislation, we can then have things in place so that it can move forward.
That's certainly, this is an issue of timing.
Right,
This is
it
signed
really
by
is.
the governor, you're looking at July 1, the Wheat Fest, I believe,
July 12th.
the 12th through the 15th.
So we could reconsider this at the first meeting in July,
I don't know what that would be.
which is on the 4th of July.
Hopefully we'll know and be able to bring it back to you June 20th.
Okay,
That would be the hope.
okay. Well, then I
And
would
it
say,
has passed with legislatures, you simply wait on the governor's
Okay.
signature, so.
okay. Well, so is there anything, would you all be comfortable if we wait to see till our next meeting in June and just hold this item out? Would that be okay? Mr. DeJohn?
Just so you understand, we're kind of already gearing up, anticipating the signature on that. I already drafted a proposed ordinance with regards to alcoholic liquors, which you do not have, You do have a cereal malt beverage ordinance that makes some revisions, including special events and such later this evening to correct some other problems we have. So we're going to be geared up, and as soon as it's signed, I think we're going to be ready to propose a change in ordinance to you, hopefully reconsider the street closing, and then also probably have to have a resolution or ordinance designating that as a common consumption area. So
And that will come to us at our next meeting.
we're hoping if the governor will sign that.
Just keep in mind, it appears that our legislation is trying to do away with the seed.
Oh.
I think down the road, or a couple of years from now, you may not have any legislation related to cereal malt beverage. It's on going to transition to alcohol.
Okay.
And you as a city control most of the cereal malt beverage
We do.
consumption laws. So,
Yes.
and
Yes,
licenses,
licenses.
it's different.
We control all of them. Just for clarification, when somebody wants to sell 3.2 beer, cereal malt beverage, C and B, what the chief is referring to, those licenses go through the city of Wellington. If it involves alcohol or anything higher than a 3.2 cereal malt beverage, it has to go through the state. So just clarification. Yes, Mr. Letta?
Can I carry a gun?
Whoa, you're just throwing out all kinds of
No,
crazy
you're gonna
stuff.
alcohol and guns, or
You know, Kansas passed it several years ago, open carry, as well as concealed carry, are no longer required to be permitted.
so if we do this, what is it, where we make them drink on the streets?
Common consumption.
Common consumption, we possibly, as a city, could pass an ordinance that they could drink beer on the streets and carry guns on the streets as well.
Well, again, I would defer to our city prosecutor, our city attorney, but I don't think we can govern that. I think the statute says that
The state's already said they can carry guns.
Correct. And I don't think we
as
can do
long
anything.
as they are not prohibited from carrying.
The statute, we said, doesn't even further say that the city cannot.
Correct, because there was efforts to restrict
Right,
it.
right.
Right.
All right, well, thank you for your clarification, Chief. Heath?
Well, thank you.
All right. So, Mr. Shields? Do we need to,
I believe you had a motion and a second to remove that from the
Right.
consent agenda.
and actually that was, it passed.
Take that away, so,
Right, we
so now you're simply back to
Okay.
approving the consent agenda.
Okay.
We couldn't approve and remove and approve in the same motion. You know, that was my motion.
Was that your motion?
Yes, that was, yeah.
Remove that and then approve it.
Okay.
Yeah, with the exception of item 9, so. And that's your understanding of what happened?
That's how it works.
Okay, wonderful, all right. All right, so, moving on to reports of mayor and council. Mrs. Hawley. I did ladies first, if you guys didn't figure that out. Now we'll go to the guys. I just want to make that distinction. Mr. Edwards.
I just wanted to say thank you to all the people that were a part of the flags out at the cemetery and the ceremony and all that. It was awesome. It was great. It makes you proud to be from Wellington.
There you go.
Sorry. I'll say that again. I just wanted to say thank you to all the people that were part of the flags and the cemetery, the ceremony. It was great. It was awesome. And it makes you proud to be from Wellington. We went out there a couple different days to look at it. It's that pretty and that awesome. That's it.
All right. Mr. Wetta. Chuckles.
I won't comment. I won't comment. We took the grandkids and they were in town, so we went out there and it was awesome. And we were asking the grandkids what Memorial Day means. Well, they had a couple ones to get out of school, one the pool's open, so we explained to them all the flags and everything, so it was a great thing.
Awesome. Mr. Valentine. Thank you to you.
I'm glad you're still here.
Oh, no.
I want to make it perfectly clear that Nobody is free from sin. Wicked or ticket. So, I'm glad you didn't leave. No, I deserve this. 69 years, I've never had one, I got one, and he couldn't believe it when he gave it to me. He said, I can't believe you did this right in front of me, and I said, why not?
You are such a lawbreaker.
Anyway, no, this $10 could probably save my life, and probably will in the future, so thank you for all the great work your department does. I appreciate that very much.
Just if
Now,
I
moving on.
If I may, the fine is actually going up next year to $30.
You're lucky.
You know what? I'm not going to do it again.
Lesson learned, right? Did you know what's that?
Okay.
All right.
Because I'm pretty tight with money.
Okay.
Not to steal Mr. Edwards' thunder, but Memorial Day was incredible. We had a really good crowd, everybody that participated, and the tribute that was paid to Manuel Soria, which the council as a whole should have done this, all the years that he put in out there, the decades that I've worked with him on not only Memorial Day but Veterans Day. It was a great loss, and Joe, our condolences go out to your family because he was a great man and one hell of a warrior. He was a great guy, and he is missed deeply, deeply by me and a lot of others. So, enough on that, and not making light of it, by the way. Is there been any update on the task force with Mr. Hinman on the hospital?
The last meeting I was not able to attend. The next meeting is tomorrow evening. Before that, there were 2 meetings. We've had 3 meetings. Tomorrow will be the 4th meeting. And they've provided updated information. I think the next meeting is intended to look at, what future options may be best. Is my understanding of the intent of tomorrow's meeting.
Is there any way in the next council meeting that we could have Mr. Hinman here to give us a personal update on what his task force is doing?
I can relay that request from the council if that's what the council wishes.
Well, that's what I wish. I mean, I don't know where the rest of them stand, but the hospital is pretty important to me, very important to me. And let's see what else do I have on here. Oh, I already passed that. Okay, Jeremy, thank you very much for what you and Roy did. You expedited my questions and got me the answers and got me the what I needed, and I'm very, very grateful to you and Roy Willis for the work that you did on returning my flags. And thank you very much. These people deserve it. They work hard, and you ask them to do something out of the kindness of your heart and into theirs, and they'll do it. It was just simply a mistake that was made, but they got right on it, and we got it taken care of, and everything was just great after that. And that's just about all I have for right now. You want to take the money for this now?
I don't think he's qualified.
I want to get a copy of this. I'm going to frame it and put it on the wall. Thank you. That's all I have.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, no, I do have one other thing.
Yes.
One other thing. And I should have put this right at the first. Would everybody that's running for city council seats, please stand up. I know I'm not the mayor, but I wish you would stand up.
No, you're fine. Okay.
There we go, right there. How many got that? 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait a minute. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
That's great.
That's great. That's great. 9 people.
Thank you all for stepping forward.
Thank you very much for being here.
Yep.
That's it. I'm done.
Thank you, Mr. Valentine. Mr. Bunce.
I just got to echo a little bit of what Jim said. It's interesting tonight. I was watching my favorite news program as far as national news. For any of you Fox sites out there, it's Brett Baird, 5 o'clock national news. And the last his sign off every evening for years has been fair, balanced, and unafraid. Tonight he was showing films of Normandy 73 years ago, and he could not finish. It just basically paid it off with 160,000 people trying to get on the beach. It's pretty amazing, pretty amazing. I hope that it never happens again, and I hope that the generations coming up understand just what those guys went through. So again, the weekend celebrations, they're beautiful. I hope anybody saw it tonight noticed it with me, because as I said, a professional could not get the word "unafraid" out of his mouth. So, thanks for this.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Butts. And certainly what happens out at the cemetery is a lot of volunteerism, and it is tremendous. But I do want to mention that our city staff, both Max and James, certainly deserve a shout out. Yes, they're doing their jobs, but they were out there all weekend, and they give up their holiday weekend to be out there. So thanks to Max and James for being great city staff and making our cemetery such a point of pride. Speaking of our cemetery, if you did put flowers out, you have to have them picked up before June 12th if you want to make sure that nothing happens to them. Also, just reminder that the pool's up and running. There's junior golf. There's all kinds of great things happening rec center wise. And speaking of golf, the Kansas Junior Golf Association tournament was here this past week, and I know they brought in a lot of folks. And so just remember, we host a lot of tournaments this summer: baseball, golf, all kinds of stuff. Just make sure that when you see somebody you don't know, you greet them with a smile and be good hosts and hostesses. All right, and go eat. That's all I have. So with that being said, our Wellington Eat team doing very well, and appreciate all the support. And I think we'll have details of fireworks and all that at our next meeting. So, because we're in cahoots with them. All right, so now we have reports of city officials, and our first item is the CDBG environmental review. City Manager Shane Shields.
The environmental review report is something that is required under the CDBG housing grant program. This was provided to us by Casey Tillman, our grant administrator. Simply a report, no issues with the report, but it simply needs your council approval to accept. So that's really all we need is a motion and a second to accept it and approve it, and then it goes into the file along with the grant.
Move we accept.
Second. All right, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the CDBG environmental review. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. All right. Next item is a topic that we are all well versed in, and that is the community video, the CGI communications update.
This was to provide you an update with what was discussed before. The only additional information would be to tell you that the introduction video has been shot. It was shot on June 1st. It will be added to the website once we receive that back. The other videos, the shoot date has been scheduled for July 12th, which is the Wheat Festival picnic in the park. Is when they will open that video. They will start beginning shooting the video. They will also be here July 13th to shoot the video. The scripts have been done. The scripts are initially prepared by CGI. They're provided to us, the 4 different categories, and then edits can be made, and we have done that. So that's simply just a brief update to you on the status of what that is.
And can you remind us about the 4 categories?
The 4 video title is a welcome, a quality of life, education, and then business and economic development are the 4 titles or categories of the videos.
And just so everybody knows, like Dr.
Wagner.
That was a Wendy moment right there. Yeah, Dr. Widener and various others are going to be participating in this, and what a great time to capitalize and showcase our community. So, all right. Any other thoughts on that one? Okay. No public hearings, but our first ordinance tonight is an ordinance amending section 4-33 of the Code of the City of Wellington, Kansas as it pertains to public consumption.
This ordinance, as kind of discussed previously, and the city attorney adjourned, can certainly add any comments or questions you have. This is addressing a couple of things. One is addressing Gibson Field, the baseball stadium that has never been addressed. From the time that began 3 or 4 years ago, that was never addressed. So that is one purpose of this ordinance. The other is allowing the common consumption area provided, that state legislation allows us to do that. But we've already addressed that here since we had to update this anyway for the Gibson stadium. Sean, if you have anything to add to that.
Just briefly, basically, the ordinance is worded identical to the current ordinance. We've just restructured paragraph B to include certain locations, that being paragraphs 3 and 4 under subsection B are new paragraphs. Obviously, 4 entails some changes to state statute from years past, that being special event designations, which we currently have. I also included language regarding common consumption areas. That's the language that's currently pending under that statute, and that would be considered an amendment to that statute. So I don't believe we would have to revisit this specific ordinance. This deals only with cereal malt beverages. Alcoholic liquors are covered under a separate ordinance, and we would have to amend that if that passes. But this cleans up a few things that City Manager Shields and myself had talked about, and I'm kind of looking forward a little bit to keep that straight.
Okay. Any questions, concerns? Do I have a motion? It's been moved and seconded that we approve this ordinance amending section 4-33 of the Code of the City of Wellington as it pertains to public consumption. Madam Clerk, will you please take a roll call vote?
Mr. Etter?
Yes.
Mrs. Holly?
Yes.
Mrs. Cordy?
Yes.
Mr. Betts?
Yes.
Mr. Valentine?
No.
Mr. Webb?
Yes.
And that's a 5 affirmative votes for ordinance number 4208.
Okay. Our next item, we have a couple of resolutions. First one being a resolution accepting and approving bids and authorizing the city manager to execute an agreement with Interstate Electrical Contractors Incorporated of Wheat Ridge, Colorado for the substation construction in the total amount of $539,700.
This is the final significant purchase relating to the electrical project that is ongoing with the bond funds. This is where this is coming from. Mr. Newberry is here to provide some details on this bid project.
Okay, so this is for the substation that's going to set up there, basically behind Dr. Hershey's, just for easy location. We submitted, Olson Associates, who's our contract engineer on this project, submitted bids to 10 different companies. We received bids back, were pretty varying. So that took a little bit extra time for Olson Associates to kind of weed through those bids and make sure we were getting what we were asking for. And there came a little bit of an issue. As you can see, we were not recommending the low bid. We were recommending the lowest responsible bid. Olson Associates looked into some references and a little worried about some of the experience of the low bid. So we were recommending to move forward with Interstate Electric Contractors. We've done 50 plus substations over the last 5 years. Olson Associates has worked hand in hand with this company. They are very pleased with their work. The last thing we need to do is cut corners on this project. So we're recommending move forward Interstate Electric. They are still $230,000 below the high bid. So and we have plenty of money in the budget to move forward.
What did we budget for this?
Well, again, as Mr. Shields referenced, it's within the bond project.
Okay,
And
okay,
There's still money there available.
okay. Any other questions, comments?
Do I have, there's enough money for this? How about other expenses that may come along?
Yes, ma'am. As Mr. Shields referenced, this is the last big piece of the puzzle. There's obviously going to be other expenses that come along. But we have, roughly, I checked the city clerk, we have roughly $650,000 left in that bond project.
After the, or
Yes, ma'am.
in addition to this.
After this purchase.
After
Yes,
this,
approved.
okay.
So we feel confident that will be enough to finish the project. Overall, the bids on this project have came in below expectations. So we should have plenty of money when this project's over.
Mr. Buds?
Jason, what's the estimated completion?
Good question, Bill. We hoped that it would already been done, to be honest with you. There's been some scheduling conflicts. Mainly the wet season that we've had has delayed a little bit of the construction. So we hope to have it energized late summer, early fall. We're hoping for late summer. The engineers are pushing us more until the fall. They're hoping October, November we can energize.
Mr. Valentine?
Just for public knowledge here, let's go all the way back to when this first started, when we completed this grid. What was the total cost in this chain? Do you remember? I know it was 2 phases and 4 phases within the 2.
Well, this particular project has been on the books, I mean, even before my time here.
Right, I know that.
This bond issue for this part of the project, I believe, was
$4.5 million.
$4.5 million.
This phase.
Well, it's just for the public knowledge, they know that this was all included, like you said before, in this bond.
Sorry.
That's just so they'll know. Thank you very much, appreciate it.
Good deal. Any other questions, comments? Do I have a motion?
Madam Mayor, I move that we approve the purchase as advised by, who is this, OC?
No, company is Interstate.
Yeah, as advised by OC Associates.
Okay,
From Interstate.
all right. It's been moved and seconded that we approve this resolution accepting this bid and authorizing our city manager to execute this agreement with Interstate Electrical Contractors. Madam Clerk?
Mr. Buds?
Yes.
Mr. Valentine?
Yes.
Mr. Wetta?
Yes.
Mr. Etter?
Yes.
Mrs. Holland? Yes. Mrs. Corey?
Yes.
Okay, 6 affirmative votes for resolution 5820.
And last item on our agenda, but certainly not least, is a resolution authorizing a minor street privilege permit to be issued to Connie Hart Trust, Rick Hart agent, utilizing the 100 block of West 7th Street, that portion between Washington Avenue and the alleyway, for geothermal wells. This is exciting. I'm so excited about this. Mr. Shields.
As you have read, that resolution is based upon a street privilege permit application received from the party you indicated. Mr. Hart is here to answer any questions if you have for him. Minor street privilege is something provided by in our code. This is not something that occurs very often. I think the last one was in 2011, so and this request for geothermal wells is certainly kind of unique also. That, I'll turn it over to Public Works Director Jones to provide more information, and again, Mr. Hart is available too after that if you have any questions.
Okay.
The request for the minor street privilege covers the geothermal wells for the property at 122 North Washington, but actually be located in the right-of-way of West 7th Street adjacent to the building. This would take place of the traditional heating and air system. This would be, right now we're taking 18 wells, drilled about 300 feet deep. You take high-density polyethylene pipe and run through there and use the soil's temperature to heat and cool the building, essentially. Takes up about half a block, not quite half a block of that street, which is more than they have within their possession. The building's not on, so thus the request for the right-of-way. It appears that everything would be under the street surface. I believe the trench would be about 3 feet. The wells, the top of the wells would be below that 3-foot mark, so we would still have a passable street within that location. We've contacted utilities, and we have not heard anything from gas or AT&T yet. We want to stress that everybody understands that there are other utilities besides the city-operated utilities that this this may or may not come in conjunction with. So we don't believe that there's utilities in the area other than water line recently installed for a sprinkler system in Mr. Hart's building.
Okay.
So far, response has been essentially no concern to as long as the future utility has right and access to go through there. I think that is the main concern as far as that goes. So, reference in the memo to the annual fee is required by the code. We bring that up that we don't believe that staff has the authority to waive the fee or to do anything other than what's been officially established. So we point that out that would need to be discussed tonight as well.
What was charged before?
There's 13 different specific types of minor street privilege. All of them have a different fee. So we've never had one of this nature.
This one would fall under possibly two categories, one being the
Lineal feet of pipe.
$1.25 per lineal foot pipe lines, or a $12.50 per well fee for 18 wells. I don't know that the staff intent is not necessarily that both fees will apply.
No.
But again, we don't have the authority, in reading the ordinance to waive that fee. That is up to you. Mr. Hart has in his application or in our correspondence has asked for consideration of waiving the fee.
Okay.
What is the, sorry,
No, go ahead, Mr.
what is the reason for the fee?
Again, the ordinance has been in place for many, many years.
I'm guessing to a certain extent administrative costs. It's an annual permit that the intent would be that that fee is paid each year in order to renew that permit. The receipt upon payment would act as the permit renewal.
So it's
I'm not sure when this originated, but the wording in it looks to be probably 40s or 50s, if not before 1940.
I believe one section addresses horse hitching posts.
Okay.
So I guess the question I would ask is, if it's that antiquated, is let's say we allow them to put it in there, and then 2 years from now, they say, well, I'm not gonna pay it anymore. And we're not gonna come in here, have one hundred of feet, you said, out, because he didn't pay us.
I think it'd be more just cutting the system off of it. I don't know that we get to that point, but I don't think it'd be removal of the systems. I think they could be abandoned in place, but hopefully if there is an annual fee, it would be one that would be beneficial to both parties.
So I guess my question to Shane or Sean would be, is there a way that we can allow him to move forward and then address the obvious antiquated wording that we have now? I mean, my stance on it, and I only speak for myself, is that I'm very appreciative that somebody came to this town and purchased a building that is, sitting vacant, had been for a while, and they're obviously putting a large amount of money into it. It's downtown. 2 blocks down the street, we have one that we're looking at, probably ultimately tearing it down. So I think to be as business friendly as possible is the way I look at it, especially with regards to downtown. So if the city is not going to incur really any costs with this or whatever that may be, that would be the only thing I would see is that if we're going to have some type of a cost associated with it, that we would be able to, get that or, get that back. The other thing that I would just like to bring up is that I'd like to commend him for going, green and obviously these systems are not inexpensive. It's a very expensive upfront cost for him to do that, so.
Mr. Hart, do you mind coming forward? Well, and I would like to certainly echo what Mr. Etter said. Thank you for, one, taking a chance on Wellington, and 2, also having such an amazing daughter. Okay, that's another side.
That's why I'm here.
Well, she is pretty awesome. But, so I guess, have you done this before? Did you do this up in Paola?
Yeah, I've done it.
Okay,
before, yeah.
okay. Can you what was the dynamic there? Did you have to pay something there?
No,
Okay.
but it was on my own land.
Oh,
So now,
okay.
you know, asking to put the wells in the city easement.
Okay, so this is the first time you've
Yeah,
ever?
first I've heard that.
Okay.
I've done it before, but not on a city easement.
Right, okay. Yes, Mr. DeJour.
I think Mr. Edgar had a question.
Oh, sorry. Yes, Mr.
I think we can do it. I don't know that we even need to change, even though it's antiquated with hitching posts and all that. I
You're
think,
not using any hitching posts, right?
No.
really go green. But I do think the city council could address it on an annual basis as to whether we waive that fee annually. The only concern I have as city attorney is everybody comes in here and wants to do this and you don't charge one person. I'm not saying you have to charge Mr. Hart a fee every single year. I think you could address it on an annual basis as to whether you're going to assess the fee as to after this application fee basically.
Is there going to be any kind of a, I'm sorry, is there any kind of a, like an inspection from the city standpoint that we have to go, Jeremy?
Just upon installation, I don't believe that there would be an annual inspection on it.
And obviously, whatever damage he's going to do to get the wells in, then he's going to accrue that cost to put it back to life as a, like, right?
So, I mean,
I was just gonna say, to me, it just seems to me like, if we were going to charge any kind of a fee, it'd be something minimum, $100 or something, to make sure that we're not incurring any costs. But with that being said, I don't even have an issue if the city doesn't see us having any expenses, to just allow him to go forward and then not have any kind of a.
well, I don't want to sit up here and say, okay, we like what you're doing, so therefore we don't have to pay a fee, because we sell a lot of permits and charge a lot of fees, and so I don't think we can do that. I would like to erase the having to pay one annually if there's no upkeep or maintenance or inspection or anything on the city that's going to take up any time. But
If I can add and at least mention, I mean,
Sure.
to have all the facts out, I mean, to be sure you have all the facts. Obviously, the fee by linear foot of the pipelines would be $1,360. The $1,250 per 18 wells would be $225.
Yeah.
That certainly seems more reasonable. The other issue to be aware of, I mean, whether it's any consideration or not, but again, so you have every faucet of information, is obviously those geothermal wells is intended to save electricity, save money for him, which he will be using less of the electricity and paying for. That's the goal, obviously. So, I mean, he is saving money to the electric. Does that justify any consideration for charging the fee also? That's the only thing I have.
It's costing us a lot of money.
Well, but he's also going to bring a lot of people, I think, to this community.
It's a closed loop system.
Yes.
Which I think is, eventually, I think all geothermal is going to have to be,
Right.
surface water problems, et cetera, et cetera. Right. I think it's a fantastic idea. I'm somewhat familiar with geothermal. And kudos, because that big old building will save you a lot.
Yeah, I was gonna say a lot.
Mr. Hart, I think the most pressing question is this work going to be done before the Kansas Wheat Festival? Okay, because I know
I will
some.
be skinned by my daughter.
All right. Anybody else? Mr. Budden, do you have anything else?
Well, I was thinking about, could we waive the fee for like 2 years and then come back again?
And what I was thinking was, is based upon the fact that there's already books, or laws on the books, or whatever. That we already have it on there, maybe opt to go with the lesser 225 amount, this, and then give it a 2-year rest, and then hopefully in that time, we can address the issue, so that way you don't have to pay. The intention is that you won't have to pay any fees moving forward, once we're able to get, grasp our arms around that. So with that being said, I'm going to make a motion that we allow it to move forward with the one-time $225 fee based upon the number of wells. Is that correct, Shane? Yes. And then to give it a 2-year.
What are we doing in 2 years?
Putting a vacation on the annual permit that he would currently have to pay based upon the current statute, so that way then maybe we can come back and address the issue.
If it's a one-time fee, is that contradicting?
Well, no, there's currently the statutes, the way I understand it from what Sean said, that it's an annual amount. So I'm saying that based upon this one is that we put a stay on it so that we can fix the
I like that.
outdated.
Is this what you're looking for?
Well, what I'd like is just a one-time, staff did incur time looking at it, I'd say it's almost like a building
Building
permit.
permit.
Just a review fee.
Right.
I mean, I'd really like to have no annual fee.
That's where I'm going, is I would like to have that, but I think, I'm just trying to make sure that we're doing it the right way, Sean. I mean, we can't just say indefinitely, we're not going to do it, and then not address the statutes that are on the books. The statutes are on the books, we have to follow them. I mean,
And I think annual review and waive it would be a better process. Nothing against the gentleman, but if he sells the building, somebody else takes it over, they don't maintain it properly, it will give the city some,
that's what mine, there's no, given it a 2 years.
no carrot necessarily, but if you review it every year and waive it.
Set up a grandfather for Mr. Hart's ownership or whatever.
Yes,
I would say.
Do whatever you want.
okay. I know,
So the motion was that we allow him to move forward with the fee of $225 based upon the number of wells, and that for 2 years, there's no fee, and then hopefully at that point in time, we can change the
or review.
review after that time.
Set a flat fee, $235.
For Mr. Hart.
$225.
Okay.
$225.
$225 flat fee for the entire project.
$12.50 for 18 minutes.
Yeah.
All right, so as I understand, I have a motion to approve this resolution authorizing a minor street privilege permit to be issued to Connie and Nick Hart, utilizing the 100 block of West 7th Street, that portion of Washington between the alleyway for geothermal wells, with a fee of one-time fee of $225 and a review of this after 2 years.
I want to clarify the one-time fee, so we would address this 2 years from this date, give or take,
Yes.
2019. Okay, so they,
What, Mr. DeJarnett, you seem
We're waiving, because it's not really a one-time fee then, if you're going to review it.
Annual fee over.
We're waiving
The
the
phrasing would be the $225 fee, annual fee, and we're waiving it for 2 years and we'll review it in 2 years.
okay.
There you go.
What Mr. DeJarnett said. So, Mr. Butts, are you still fine with seconding that?
That's fine.
All right, Madam Clerk, please take a roll call vote. You're fine. I would love to see your notes sometime. It'll work out.
Mrs. Hawley?
Yes.
Mrs. Cordy?
Yes.
Mr. Butts?
Yes.
Mr. Valentine?
Yes.
Mr. Webb? Mr. Evans?
Yes.
6 affirmative votes for Resolution 5821.
Okay. Mr. Hart, thank you very much. And are you, so you're good with that, and you understand the parameters that if in fact, something, the ownership and this and that, just, that puts a little safety net for the city too. I hope you don't I hope you don't think it's anything that we're less than absolutely excited about what you guys are doing.
It's fine.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
And again, thank you for having me.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
All right, moving on, we have, no study items, but do you have what?
Madam Chair.
Filter, I'll take it.
Madam Mayor, I move that we recess into executive session for consultation with an attorney for the public body and agency deemed privileged to be an attorney-client relationship for a period of
until 8/10.
until 8/10.
Okay,
To include the council, our attorney, Shane, our manager, and anybody else you want to hear?
So,
The clerk.
all right.